Sunshines. Welcome to another Game of Thrones review. I know, everyone's favorite. We're just gonna get right into episode 5. Just talk about the opening scene. Jaime and Bronn pop out of the water. I'm like, no one chased them, no one followed them. Jaime has one hand and like 100 pounds of armor on. So
Both
like,
didn't have that armor.
Is Bronn a superhuman? Like, what just happened?
I knew they had to live, so whatever. I can like skip past that, I guess. But there's still, you're right. So many like plot
I think they
holes.
should have been captured. Obviously, like that. I felt like that was the way that the episode ended. It was like, okay, someone's gonna jump in there and save them, obviously, and they're gonna be captured by Daenerys' army. But they just let them go, and then Tyrion later is even like, and they're all like, oh, well, Tyrion will just go talk to Jaime. And I'm like, why do they think Jaime's alive? Tyrion watched him charge her, and she watched him charge her. So I'm like,
I kind of wish they were captured, only so that this stupid plot line of him needing to talk to him wouldn't happen.
Oh my gosh. Daenerys, who turns the two Charlies into a crisp, whatever. And then Tyrion and Varys have this conversation about how she's going crazy. And I'm like,
did you think that was wrong of her to do that? They're trying to frame it as if she's becoming, you know... Yeah, exactly. But I didn't think that was unnatural or like... No. That's what happens in war. Why is everyone acting surprised?
Exactly. And I didn't even think... I thought she was quite modest about it. She only killed the 2 people. She could have killed, like, 20 of them were still standing up. She could have had all 20 of them go stand over there. But she was like, I'll make an example of these 2. You know, we'll let it happen, whatever.
Especially the way that Guy was talking to her. Like, she was, you know... You're not my queen, and you're a foreign invader, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's like, at that point, if she didn't stand her ground, it would make her look weak.
It would make her look weak. It was very diplomatic of her to do so. And people that, like, Tyrion threw wildfire at ships for, like, and burned tons of people alive. So I don't know why he's being fussy at the moment.
I think they're making a mountain out of a molehill. They're just picking, trying to stir up drama where there really is none. Like with the, we agree with the Arya and Sansa thing. It's kind of like, is this really going to go anywhere?
Okay, I guess. I don't know.
But
so next we have Sam and Gilly. Gilly just casually drops the Rhaegar like annulment thing.
That was so hilarious.
Which I also feel like
hilarious.
Who gets an annulment in this day and age? Like,
well, that's kind of
is that real? Like, what?
At first, I was wondering, like, we were talking, I was wondering, like, why do they keep hinting, Arya, we know all of this. Yeah. I was like, why do they keep talking about it? But then I realized the significance of that moment is to show that, like you said, that he's not a bastard.
Oh, yeah.
He's legitimate,
wanted it to be, like,
so that's the significance of it. And I wonder if George R.R. Martin in the book will take a similar route.
I think George R.R. Martin, if he were to write something similar to that, I think he would just have Rhaegar take a second wife, because I'm pretty sure Targaryens did that anyway. And an annulment? Isn't that like... No, like, I'm like, is that a thing in this day and age? I just thought that was kind of like a strange word to just throw into the thing. But I mean, I like it. It does legitimize Jon, and I'm super stoked that he's not a bastard, because obviously you gotta love Jon, you know. And he's, you know, been sad about being a bastard his whole life, so it's like, it's okay, Jon. You have a mom and dad. So
yeah.
Cool. And he's still Stark, which is nice.
What do you think is going to happen with that? Like, when that information is revealed, and he has obviously, you know, more claim to the throne now than Daenerys when it comes out.
And he's technically is like a male heir, so he would have more of a right than Daenerys, technically. I'm like, unless that information goes viral and everyone in the kingdom knows, I don't think that it would make a difference, because I don't feel like Jon is hungry for power.
The scene with the dragon?
Yeah.
Oh, one of my favorite scenes of this episode.
And Drogon comes up and you're like, oh, they connected. It's such like a cheesy moment.
You could see him just sniffing him, and you just could smell the Targaryen in him, you know? And Daenerys is on the dragon like,
what's going on over there?
Yeah, I know.
I saw another person that compared it to like a cat lady whose cat doesn't like anyone, and then all of a sudden the guy comes over and the cat like pops up on his lap, and she's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
In all honesty, after that moment, because this whole time I have been against the whole Daenerys Jon thing, but during that moment I was just like, oh yeah, they gonna bone.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, I think she's definitely intrigued by him. She's
And then the jealousy moments when Jorah came back. Did y'all notice that?
Golden
tension between Jon and Jorah, where he was like sizing him up, like, wait, are they a thing? Are they not a thing?
That hug that she gave Jorah, and Jon was kind of like, wait, is this your man? Like, what's up? Like,
it was kind of funny. It was very satisfying, though. I feel like they should get together to make more dragon babies.
And when she said goodbye to Jon too, like, I don't know, because this whole time they've been, you know, we see Davos joking with Jon, saying, "Oh, you're looking at more than just this," and, you know. So we know he's attracted to her, but they haven't really revealed. Like, we don't see Missandei teasing Daenerys, you know. But when she said goodbye to Jon, when she was like, I've gotten used to the King of the North, you know, whatever. I was just like, ooh.
Okay, speaking of that though, I saw someone else put this in a comment and I was like, what? And I just have to bring it up really quick. Okay, so Arthur Dane, before said to Ned Stark, I wish you good fortune in wars to come. And the next thing you know, dies. And then Mance says it just before he got burned at the wall. And right before that, he's like, I wish you good fortune in wars to come.
I wish you good fortune in the wars to come.
I wish you good fortune in the wars to come.
I wish you good fortune in the wars to come, Your Grace.
And then Jon said it to Dany as he leaves Dragonstone. So, like, if that foreshadowing is correct, then one of them may die. And I think, honestly, they're setting you up so you want Jon and Daenerys to be together. And you're like, oh, this is the best couple ever. But then it specifically says that, or the prophecy or whatever it was says, the witch, I think, said that Dany's not going to have any more children. Like, she's going to be barren after she has the child, Khal Drogo. And so her dragons are going to be her only children. So I honestly think that Dany's not going to make it. And speaking of children, Cersei's a bitch ass.
Oh my god!
Someone else's preggers, apparently.
I don't believe it. And I'm so upset. I feel like Jaime is just getting sucked back into freaking Cersei and her madness, and now that she has a kid, he's even more loyal to her.
It's so true.
Oh
because
my god.
Cersei and Jaime have been like drifting apart for a while now, or you can tell like it just seems like they don't. After he lost his hand, you know, they've just been drifting.
She wouldn't even touch him, like, and he had been gone for war for a long time, and you could even see him. I felt like he was being kind of repulsed by her and seeing how crazy she was.
Yeah, like when Euron was there and talking to her, and just like making fun of him right in front of his face, and he's sitting there like. Okay.
But now, yeah, I feel like homie's just like, pussy whip. Like, he just...
Yeah, no, seriously.
He's like, oh, they had sex, and now he's just like, yeah. And she's like, now I'm pregnant. I'm just like, no, Jaime, get away. Get away.
And I just feel like she also had a prophecy that said, you're going to have 3 children, and then your husband's going to have 20, and they're not going to be each other's children, basically. I feel like she was also prophesized to not have any more kids, so I'm interested to see if she's a miscarriage, if she dies in childbirth, if she's lying.
She can't have this baby just because of the prophecy, unless the TV people, so smart. Unless they just completely ignore that, you know, which I don't think they would do, because they even included that in the
They said it, they put it in the TV show.
I could see her having a miscarriage and then that kind of fueling some irrational move that she makes, you know?
And it also says that she dies by the hands of a little brother or something. But little brother can be translated differently, so technically it might not be little brother. But I'm like, Jaime's not going to kill her when she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And Tyrion, at this point,
unless
Tyrion's
she does something to
them,
deserve it.
so.
Jaime killed the Mad King and he had his reasons, and Cersei's definitely becoming the Mad Queen. Which, okay, Cersei is the Mad Queen. We know this. In this day and age, that's what she is. Why do any of these people think that they can just, we're going to talk to her, we're bring a White Walker so she can see?
Oh my gosh, this is what we need to talk about. Me and Ashley are both like, what? This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard of. We're just gonna mosey on up to the north. Sorry, we're discussing the plan that they made to go to the north to grab a white to bring and show to Cersei. And I'm like, what? It makes no sense. This thing... These undead whites are like incessant, like will not stop coming after you until they've killed you. Like you can't just strap one down, and then how are you gonna get it like on a 3-week travel from the north to King's Landing?
How would they even get one separate from the whole dead army? Like, it's like 10 people going towards this army to steal one away. And then the fact that they're even thinking, oh, you know what, we can just get an audience with Cersei. Yeah, that's smart. Let's get all her enemies in one area so she can blow up the great set like she did last time.
Exactly.
Like, what?
She's probably all for it. She's like, what? Yeah, Daenerys, come on over. Yeah, bring me a White Walker, a Night King, and Jon Snow. Let's just pop them all in one room.
I'm like, I feel like they're completely dismissing her character and what she's kind of shown, and they're just gonna try to, you know, have some faith in her and go forward with this plan. And that just seems so stupid. I don't think Tyrion would ever actually make that decision or come up with that plan knowing how psychotic his sister is.
And that's just half of it that's bad. The other half is just like the concept of grabbing a white
yes!
on the wall. I'm like,
oh my god.
It would be easier to go beyond the wall, kill one of your friends, and then let that guy come back as a white and be like, okay, we got one. But going into the army to get one, like...
You know what? I bet that's what's going to happen. They're going to go there. We'll see a moment with them trying to fight off some people in the army. It'll be epic and awesome. Yeah. One of their friends is going to die. He'll be turning and they're going to take him. That's what they're going to do.
But that's not their plan right now, which is the stupid part. I'm like...
Who do you think would die in that party, though?
Okay.
Talk about that party. I was so excited to see 12 more Giants
skipping
Bane.
anything,
We probably are, but I'm just excited.
I know, right? I'm like, I keep skipping ahead too. Okay,
Because
wait.
that's my boo. I know. She loves 12. He can get it, y'all.
Exactly.
Okay.
Davos and Tyrion go to King's Landing to do this meeting, and then get Gendry? Gendry or
I'm so excited
Gendry.
to see him come
Yeah.
back.
I mean, I was pumped too, but I just kind of feel like I hope they don't just bring him in so they can kill him in an episode. I'm like,
Well, no, him and Arya have to see each other one last time.
I feel like he comes out with a warhammer, just like Robert Baratheon used to fight with a warhammer, and just like clock those guys over the head, which was
I
satisfying.
completely forgot about Robert and that hammer. But
Fan appreciation there. You're like, yeah, Robert had one of those too. And talks to Jamie, and it's super emotional. And I'm like, I think it's such a good point because Tywin was always like a jerk. I thought they had a very emotional meeting, and Tyrion made really good points. And I'm like, come on, Jamie, like, you know your dad. But I guess Jamie always loved his father in a way. Because technically,
he'll get over it.
could've
I feel
let-
like he sees his side. I feel like he still has a heart for him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. One thing I did like seeing was Jamie realizing that we're fighting a losing war. Like, Daenerys put the fear in
realization.
them. He's like, that was only one dragon. She has two more. Like, and he's telling Cersei, we're not going to win. And Cersei, of course, like, you know, we either fight or we die, or we give up and we die. I know my choice.
Yeah, Cersei's savage.
My old stubborn.
She's never gonna give up, so gotta do something about her ASAP.
Jamie gotta do something about her. Yeah.
But then we have Sansa, Arya, and Littlefinger, which I think is like we said, kind of like a silly plotline just to create some random drama that I don't think.
I'm enjoying it though. I am enjoying the plotline, I have to be honest.
Yeah. I just feel like, why did Arya go in there like all savage? Like, obviously all you want is power and nice things. We just want nice things. What a bitch. I'm like, why would Arya just start off in Winterfell just like causing?
They have, you know, honestly, I think it's just the history. And I feel like Arya, she's seen such a dark side of the world. So has Sansa, you know? But I feel like Arya, she's good at reading characters, and she might be assuming a lot about Sansa right now because she hasn't seen her in so long. But yeah, I don't know.
No.
She definitely doesn't trust her sister. And Littlefinger is only making that wedge, digging that wedge much further and deeper. Like, he's just
It's
driving
dumb
it.
because it's like an old letter from Joffrey. Joffrey's been dead for ages. Who cares? In the first place, whatever. And also, if Arya's so good at reading people, then how is she so easily fooled by Littlefinger? I'm like,
That was
so
you
good.
were she was
knows.
totally onto that, you guys. We were watching it and she's like, Littlefinger knows that he's following her. And I was like, what? No, like Arya's
Yeah,
she's
exactly,
freaking
so
quiet, you know, like a freaking cat. But nah, Littlefinger knew.
Exactly.
I was
The
like,
whole
damn,
time.
Nikki called that one.
I don't know. It seemed a little obvious because
That was kind of, I feel like she is underestimating her enemies though. She is used to
Yeah,
being
true.
that skilled person. She's on her side of, you know, on the world of Bravos and stuff, doing her thing. And yeah, she's learning like, yeah, there's some people over here. Littlefinger is,
and she's normally not tracking someone that's of Littlefinger's mentality. But she should also at the same time second guess everything to do with him because it's Littlefinger. But maybe she doesn't know all the shit he's been doing.
yeah, I think she's just underestimating him. And I think hopefully, like, if she confronts, or when she confronts Sansa, like, they kind of, instead of really turning at each other, that they kind of put on a show for Littlefinger or something. Because although Arya is underestimating him, Sansa should not. I feel like Sansa knows his game.
Like Sansa knows for sure. She's been with him for a hot minute now, and everyone gets all together. They make it back to the wall to go north of the wall to complete this really smart plan.
It's a really smart
I
plan.
know. The Hound, Beric, and what's the other guy's name?
Oh, I don't know that dude's name.
Beric's the guy who's been raised from the dead like a million times, and the other guy's the one that raises him. He's the other red priest or whatever. Yeah. So we have the seven, like basically the Fellowship of the Ring, going north of the wall to
Fellowship
go
of the Ring.
grab a dead white. It
I don't
makes
know.
no sense to me at all.
As dumb as I think the plotline is, I am excited for them to go north. It's a badass group of men.
I think it's gonna be a bad.
This is going to be an awesome fight.
Yeah.
Gendry with his hammer, who we just learned can work a freaking hammer. John's a good fighter.
The Beric,
You see his
he's been
fire?
brought back to life 9 times by fire. So what happens if he dies? Can he be resurrected as an ice white, or like would something else happen to him? Because it says every time he dies, he comes back less human, right? That's what the books say. I don't know if the show.
They did. He talked about that too.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said that in the show, so they do talk about it in the
So
show.
he comes back less human every time. So I'm wondering if that's going to go anywhere, or if that's going to be kind of like maybe a plot twist, because can he be killed? And he does have the fire sword too, because that was in the preview.
I know. He has the fire, so we're gonna get to see kind of how the White Walkers stand up and the Army of the Dead stand up to the fire. Because it's gonna be a small preview of what the dragons could possibly do, you know? Like, what if it's just, like, super easy, like, they just, I don't know.
Do you think a dragon's gonna come try to save them and die in the process? Also, just a random thing, I don't think we're using Bran to your appropriate disposal. I'm like, you have this all-knowing guy just chilling by a tree. Just chilling there.
No one knows. I mean, Bran, he's the only one that really knows his powers and capabilities. Everyone else just kind of like, Bran's kind of a creeper. He gets visions, you know? So I guess they're just like, they don't know to what extent he gets visions. They don't know that he knows everything, you know?
Right.
And I mean, that's, you know, he's the one keeping that under wraps, so.
Also, prediction, speaking of Bran and weird people, the Cold Hands, or Uncle Benjen.
Yes.
Like, I'm wondering if he's gonna come up now that they're north of the wall again. Like, if he's gonna
that would be
save
so
them.
cool.
Yeah, I feel like he should come back up because I know he can't go south.
I
of the
think
wall.
Jon even seeing him would be dope.
Yeah, because Jon and him got along. That's the whole reason Jon joined the Night's Watch, is because he liked Benjen so much.
That's so excited. That would be really cool.
But the episode, I feel like, was just kind of putting things together, and I'm just kind of like, I'm ready for shit to happen, you know, because there wasn't a lot of fighting. There was no deaths. There was no
just
like,
moving pieces for the next big thing, you know. It's kind of like you just see them getting everything ready.
At the end of the episode, I was kind of like, what? Like, you could just tell, and there was a lot of cheesy lines in the episode too, which were very rewarding, and I laughed at them and I loved them. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also like, I feel like there wouldn't be as many if it was like the first few seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the first few seasons were much darker than I feel this has been. Besides Daenerys roasting those people alive. Yeah.
You guys should comment down below with what do you think is going to happen with this, like, armistice they're setting up between Cersei and them, because realistically, if they couldn't, there's no way that all the Lannisters, the Targaryens, the Starks are all going to line up to just fight the White Walkers. I feel like that's crazy.
No,
that's like not realistic, okay? So comment down below with what exactly. Tell us what you think is going to happen with that, because I think that's highly unlikely. And if that were to happen, I'd just be like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. And tell us down below who you think is going to die north of the wall out of the 7 Fellowship of the Ring people. Because that's what I'm thinking. Well, it's like 7 people that are like brought together despite their differences to go north of the wall and to grab something unrealistic. And so we're gonna see how it goes. I'm so excited for the next episode, and I'm gonna be researching and stuff, and we'll be replying to y'all's comments. So comment down below.